Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Book Time with Elvis with me, Mark. I hope you're all doing very well. And I have another tag for you. I'm slowly making my way through them. It seems to be the dominant introduction to my recent videos at the moment. But today's tag is the Postscript Tag 2021. And I was very kindly tagged by Marilyn Maya Mendoza, who's a really lovely lady. And yeah, thank you so much, Maya, for tagging me in this one. Um, I'm supposed to tag some people at the end, but I'm not going to, purely because I am behind in the tags, and this tag seemed kind of fitting. Obviously for the end of 2021, and we're now in the beginning of 2022. I think I can just get away with it doing it myself, but of course, if people are then going to go on to next week, it's it's one of those things. It's like I think I saw it in one of the Curb Your Enthusiasm episodes, I think, where like they were talking about, when's the cutoff of saying Happy New Year and that kind of thing. So, yeah, to me that kind of falls in the same category, that if we go much past this week, then perhaps it's a little bit out of date. But then that's just my personal opinion. Anyway, so the book Postscript Tag 2021, it was originally created by mementomori. And let's go in. There are 10 prompts, the last one being tag people, but I already said I won't do that. However, of course, you are, as always, at liberty to do this tag. Considering yourself tagged after watching this, that's absolutely fine. So number one, the longest book you read this year and the book that took you the longest to finish. The longest book I read this year was, if we count audiobooks, was Napoleon Alive by Andrew Roberts. If we don't count audiobooks, then it was probably Herodotus's Histories, which was a reread for me, although it was a different edition. And that would also be the book that took me the longest to finish, primarily, I think, because it was a reread. So it kind of, although I was supposed to be hosting the reading of it, I was obviously reading other things as well. And I think, I can't remember exactly, but I fell behind. And then once everybody else kind of started to finish it, then, I didn't see a super need to rush through and finish it when I kind of, I'd already read it, albeit a different edition, different translation. But, I did get it done by the end of the year anyway. Number two, a book you read this year that was outside your comfort zone. I don't know, it's difficult to say. I don't know if I read any books that I would say were outside of my comfort zone, but I did read a couple of books that perhaps I wouldn't have read otherwise, one being Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen. I probably wouldn't have read it if it wasn't for BookTube and the whole Jane Austen July and that kind of thing. And to be honest, it was also a book that took me a long time, so I started it in July and I ended up finishing it just before the close of the year, where I kind of did my mopping up of books that had been left unfinished, in the last couple of weeks or so before the year closed out. Another book I read, which was a gift actually from a good friend of mine, Summer at Cozy Reading and Quaker Cats, Mudbound. I should have brought it with me. I can't remember the name of the author, but it's a fantastic book, and it's also a book that I probably wouldn't have read had it not been given to me as a gift. And it turned out to be one of the best books I read last year in 2021. So it certainly made me more open-minded. When you have a good experience like that. Number three, how many books did you reread? I think it would be somewhere between 3 and 5. I should have probably looked it up, but it wasn't that many. I'm not by nature a big rereader anyway, but certainly Herodotus I'm counting as a reread. Also, Three Men in a Boat, which we read back in July as well, was a definite reread for me. And also, what other one came to mind? I had it, you see, before I hit record, I knew in my head which three I was going to mention, and I've completely Lorna Doone. That's right, Lorna Doone by R.D. Blackmore was a reread for me as well. And they're all books I really like, hence I was happy to reread them. So, question number four, prompt number four, favorite reread of 2021. Well, they were all good. I wouldn't have reread them otherwise. If we go in terms of, um, you know, um, hmm, just lost myself there for a bit, eh? If we go in terms of like maybe the most fun, I would probably have to go with Three Men in a Boat because it is a book I adore, as regular viewers know, and a lot of people who read it with me, we did so off the back of the Reading Euros readathon, and it was a first for many of them, and I got joy from seeing their joy, if that makes sense. I really uh, got it made me very happy seeing that other people and people I respect enjoyed that book as well. So, yeah, that was great. Number five, a book you read for the first time that you look forward to rereading in the future. Another book I finished at the end of the year was A Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams, and I really enjoyed that. I didn't have a chance to speak about it really. Everything was in a bit of a mad rush. I don't like leaving things unfinished at the close of the year, and of course, I want to bolster my Goodreads, before the year closed out. And yeah, I really liked it, and I want to read the other books in the series, and I would certainly go back and reread that as well. There are a few others, but nothing else springs to mind immediately at the moment. Yeah, certainly of first time reads, but I'm pretty sure there would be a couple more. Number six, favorite single short story or novella that you read in 2021. And actually, I would have to go. I mean, I read quite a few because when we did the Reading Europe readathon, it was easy to read short stories because of the time frame. But probably my favorite one was Daphne du Maurier, The Birds and Other Stories, and there were a lot of great stories in it, but the birds itself story I really enjoyed. Yeah, it was a bit creepy, and it was a good one. Number seven, Mass Appeal, a book you liked and would recommend to a variety of readers. Well, yeah, I would go back to Mudbound. Again, I really enjoyed it. Yeah, it's something I really wouldn't have picked up, and I think if it was, if I could find it enjoyable, I think a lot of other people would as well. And I think, I believe it is a very highly thought of book, so it would have mass appeal, and I would definitely recommend it to you. I really should find out who the author was. Hang on. So I found out. You didn't notice, or maybe you did. I don't know. But I paused the video, so maybe you noticed it. I don't know. But the annoying thing is, I kind of knew at the back of my mind. In my head, I was saying, Jordan, Hillary Jordan, Hillary Jordan. Yeah, and I just wasn't confident enough to say that. And then I found out, of course, it was Hillary Jordan. So Mudbound by Hillary Jordan, I would definitely recommend to everyone. Actually, why not? It was great. I mean, there'd probably be what they call triggers in it because it deals with very sensitive race issues, and there's some violence arising from that. Um, but I'm sure it's something that it's part of the story, and certainly it's nothing. It's not the same as like any of the use of the casual use of N words by like 19th century writers. It's kind of serves the purpose of painting the picture of how terrible people were back then, and sadly still are really a lot of them. Number 8, specialized appeal, a book you liked but would be hesitant to recommend to just anyone. Yeah, again, I'm not sure. I wonder. So yeah, the book uh, that I really enjoyed, but would probably hesitate to recommend to just anyone, is Scoop by oh, uh, Evelyn Waugh. Um, it was another pick for our Humorous Book of the Month Club. I really liked it. However, it kind of falls back in that category of you know, older books that use very inappropriate language and racial slurs, which I understand would be very um, off-putting for a lot of people. Maybe make them uncomfortable. I mean, of course, it made me uncomfortable myself, but I tried to kind of take the book on, other merits, and as I said, I really enjoyed it, and I would have enjoyed it even more had those things been removed. But I certainly don't want to make anyone uncomfortable. I think there's a difference between the use of this kind of hurtful racial language between the two books I mentioned. Yeah, in Mudbound, as I say, it's not gratuitous or it's not done to be humorous, whereas unfortunately, I think it is done like that in Scoop. And that I think you get a different feeling from it. And as I said, I wouldn't want to upset anyone by saying, "Here, read this." But if you are somebody who can kind of um, what's the word, separate those kind of things, then I think it is a book that you may enjoy, and it is very funny, and it would have been just as funny or just as good or better even with those things removed. So the last question, number 9, reflect on your year as a bookish content creator, goals met, good/bad memories, favorite videos you made, etc. Well, it's been my first year as a bookish content creator. It's been my first year on BookTube. I joined sometime in March of 2021, and it's been a wonderful experience. It really has. I've made some fantastic friends, some really, really good friends who I hope will be lifelong friends, really. And when things calm down and travel and things become a bit easier, I would love to meet up with so many of the people I've met during doing this. So yeah, it's certainly been a wonderful thing. In terms of my own content, I'm proud of some things. Of course, I am. I'm proud of, I would say, all of the videos I put out. If I really thought they were rubbish, I wouldn't have put them out anyway. Certainly, more thought does go into some videos more than others. I do. I like to try and be natural when I'm speaking. So unfortunately, it does mean I turn into a bumbling idiot on occasion. But it depends. If it's a specialist subject, like if I made some a video, for example, for Herodotus, just the first part, and I wanted to make a series, but then, as I said, things fell away with reading the histories, and I didn't get to. But for something like that, I did prepare myself. I, made kind of slides and maps and that kind of stuff, and I enjoy doing that. But when it's like just a normal video or a tag like this that doesn't require me to have to like dig out a load of props and things like that, then I want to try and keep it conversational, and that does unfortunately lead to a lot of umming and erring and eyeing and is and all that kind of stuff. But I just did it there. Now I'm conscious of it. I realize how terrible it must be. That is something I would like to improve on, and I think just ignore it. Sorry, apologies. Yes, so that's something I'm definitely proud of most of my content. I do find it very amusing how some of the videos that I'm most proud of or like the most that I've made are not that popular. So it's very interesting that my own tastes about me and what I do is less popular than other people's. So yeah, that can be kind of amusing, I suppose. I didn't really have any goals. The only goal was to make the first video, really, and to try and keep it up. And I've wavered. There have been, I tried to pretty much put out, I would say, on average, a video. Um, well, definitely I have, because I've made over 150 videos, and I've been doing it since, what is it, 9 months or something, 10 months. So I definitely managed to keep it over a video a week, which is something I wanted to do, though there have been weeks I haven't made any, but I hope through this year I can, not saturate my channel, which I've probably done this week because I've made a video almost every day, but at least keep, two videos a week if possible, would be fine. I've been thinking about making one video a week that is like not necessarily book related. It can still, in a roundabout way. I don't think it would be on subjects that would be too far removed from the kind of things I talk about. But I love history, and I love like really sometimes obscure or fun facts, interesting things like that. So I thought about maybe making a video a week where I can talk about some of my other interests that are maybe only in a roundabout way related to reading and books, and maybe not at all. I don't know how people would feel about that, but I can only try and see. For example, when I first started, I made these like Wordy Wednesday videos looking at Dr. Johnson's dictionary. Terrible performance. Yeah, almost nobody watched them. But I loved it, and but the people who did watch it were fairly, regular watchers of it, so that's nice as well. I think what I really have to do is try not to be conscious of figures and this stuff. It's not what it's about. Yeah, it's about what part of it's like a therapy for me, I suppose. I live alone with Elvis, and sometimes I don't have non-work related interactions, and maybe this is kind of an outlet. So yeah, I don't know, I'm waffling now. Anyway, sorry. I don't want to turn into one of those videos where it's like, oh, poor me, because it's not like that at all. But I think it's important to think about, of course, the viewers and people who subscribe and watch my channel, but also part of it has to be for myself as well. So if I want to make a video, I'm just going to make it, and it's up to you if you like it or you don't like it, I suppose. Certainly I don't want to alienate you, so I'm not going to keep making videos that nobody likes, but from time to time maybe I will just do something that I want to do, and I'll just take the chance whether or not people like it. So that's it. There are 10, as I said, but I can't really tag anyone at this stage, I think, unless you want to do it. I've said feel free to do so. Thank you so much for sticking with me this long, and I look forward to seeing you all again very soon. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Better